Hi everybody, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Michael. You're watching another episode of Star Wars News and Views, and today we have a pretty interesting leak from the set of Episode VIII, supposedly. Now, this comes from a brand new website. It's called Star Wars from the Set. Now, this is a sort of a newish website, I think. There haven't really been a lot of stuff from it. So one of the more interesting things that they posted, oh, by the way, this is run by a guy who supposedly works at Pinewood Studios, and that's why it's called Star Wars from the Set, because he was on the set of Episode VIII.
In the props department.
I'm assuming it's a guy. Could very well be a woman, just by default.
Okay.
Saying it's a guy. I don't know. Anyway, this person was on the set of Episode VIII, and one of the things that has been leaked is this image right here, a black-colored Mandalorian helmet.
Yeah.
Looks very much like Boba Fett's. It's said to belong to a character called Knight 2, whether that's supposed to imply the Knights of Ren or
exactly.
whatever.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's clearly a Mandalorian helmet.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know who Mandalorians are, that's basically Boba Fett's... the armor he wears is from Mandalorian warriors.
Yeah. And up to this point, well, not up to this point, but like when they announced that the rest of the expanded universe was no longer canon, technically the Mandalorians wouldn't have been like announced as being like wouldn't technically be canon anymore. However, the Clone Wars was still sort of canonized, so if I don't think we can necessarily take everything that happens in the Clone Wars for fact, but they are still running with a lot of it.
They may overwrite some of it.
Yeah, so that was like maybe a possibility that they would overwrite that, but since then we've seen them in Rebels and the comics and stuff. So
Darth Maul Karmak, for example.
Yeah, so the Mandalorians are definitely canon, and it would not be surprising that they would want to put them in one of the movies, a franchise movie like Episode VIII. And because the helmet looks black, and it's sort of the Knight of Ren's aesthetics are all like black. If he was Knight 2, then that would be another one of them, and it's possible that one of the Knights could have been a Mandalorian.
So, that's pretty big news. So here's the thing. It's all fake. So, we got this sort of, debunkment, if that's a word. Is that a word?
I don't know.
Debunkment? I'm going to use it. Debunkment. This was debunked by, I don't know if this was the original website that did it, but it was the website that we found that sort of put, or at least reported it, putting two and two together, FuriousFanboys.com. And there's a lot of things about this story that are dubious. First of all, a Lucasfilm employee employed by Pinewood Studios, he's like kind of identifying himself, not by name necessarily, but Lucasfilm's lawyers could file a request via the DCMA, which is Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Which is basically if you're stealing intellectual property, they can request to find out who you are.
Yeah, they can look at your IP and stuff like that and find
who owns the site and stuff like that. That's all public knowledge.
Yeah, because you have to pay for it too, right? It's very easy to find record of it. So that would have been like kind of a big red herring saying,
like,
hey,
no one would do that, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of a big red herring why it didn't get taken down right away if this was actually, if someone could put up their own website and stuff like that. It works for them. Usually these leaks someone finds and gives to a news source and then doesn't state who they are. But if this person's putting it up on their own website and it's like a legit leak, then they would get fired instantly.
And sued.
Yeah.
So I guess that begs the question, where did this picture come from? Well, here's the original picture. You see that? It's the exact same thing. This is from an image from Replica Prop Forum. When we've reported some stories on them, they're great people. They do a lot of really high-quality prop replicas, as the name implies. And so this is a Boba Fett helmet that he took, flipped, there it is, flipped, erased the antenna, and colored it black in Photoshop. Original, Photoshop. Original, Photoshop. So this whole story, it's a big load of lies.
That's the thing. You gotta be really careful when you see some of this stuff, like stating that something is fact in a movie that's not released yet, and you can't really find a lot of like evidence to support. You can't really just take it for word, like face value. You have to kind of do a little bit of like digging, and then not necessarily like accept it. A lot of times when we try to report on this stuff, we kind of question whether or not it's true.
A lot of stuff that we find, we don't even bother reporting on because we're like, this is obviously made up. This is obviously not true. It's so obvious. But this is one that I just think sometimes it's worthwhile to bring stuff to you guys to be like, hey, be worried, this is not real, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah. It hasn't actually gotten that much publicity though, I guess.
No,
because
it really hasn't.
Debunked really quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's all, guys. So let us know your feedback if there's any other rumors that you've seen that were debunked that you want to bring to light, or if you think there's still a real possibility, which I think there is, of Mandalorians actually appearing
at some point.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. They're pretty like fan favorite sort of.
Yeah, and I think it'd be kind of cool to see one in like a main franchise movie at this point.
Yeah.
For like and like to hard set it in stone for the actual movies.
Not necessarily episode 7, 8, 9, although I'd be fine with that too. But you know, at some point, I'm
like
sure
the Han Solo origin movie or whatever.
Sure,
yeah. So leave a comment in the description, subscribe, like us on Facebook, and we'll see you all next time.